The players know the stakes, and so do I. It's not quite Rick Ashley, it's Steve Clarke. Welcome back to Fog Football. Greece versus Scotland, the biggest game in a lot of years, in my personal opinion, especially when it's World Cup related. A lot of big games for the Euros, but the World Cup's different gravy. We know this, so what we've got to do is not lose. We draw, we're in the driving seat. Well, I say we're in the driving seat. This is a car that's got two steering wheels, right? And as long as you're in the front, you'll be driving. But if you lose to Greece, you're in the back. You may as well be in the boot. All right. So there is your Scotland squad. Jambo Bear. I was going to say he's no longer with us. That's not true. He's not in this vid, but you get my point. He's not gone. All right. But he did predict in our World Cup qualifiers preview show that was uploaded earlier on today. Go check it out. It's a big, massive preview show. We cover all the games, but obviously this video is a wee bit more in detail to this match in particular. He actually went with a Greece victory. He thinks we're going to come up short, and for me, it would probably be the most Scotland thing ever to actually lose to Greece and then beat Denmark, which is what he predicted. For me, I think we're going to get over the line here. As bad as Steve Clarke can be, if there was ever a guy in world football that I would trust to get a boring, shitey, 0-0, terrorist-esque style of football over the line, it would be this guy. As bad as he can be, for me, he will get us over the line. And it's not just him that's going to get us over the line, it's the players. So Jambo Bear's going for a Greece win. I'm going to go with a draw. I think it'll be one each. Honestly, I think we'll do more than enough here to get us over the line. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through the starting 11 and talk about a few things. Now, obviously, in terms of the squad that's right in front of you, there has been a few changes. Like Billy Gilmore will not be featuring because he's injured. Lennon Miller has also dropped out. I believe who else dropped out? Ross McCrory. So you can forget about Ross McCrory, you can forget about Lennon Miller and Billy Gilmore for this game. Gilmore does come back for the Denmark game, which could be crucial, but the likes of Connor Barron has been called up. Hold on, who else has been called up? But see, I think this is piss poor, by the way. Like, they've not even updated the actual squad on the website. Is it too much to ask? Let me just get confirmation of that. But there's obviously photos floating about. Let's see. Hold on. They're putting a lot of hype into this. Oh, away to Greece. Where's the updated squad? That's what Jack Hendry said, and I quote, "We want to make the country proud. We're hungrier than ever to get to the World Cup." I mean, the great thing is, like, this isn't even like just to get a playoff. I mean, the playoff secured. The bag is secured in terms of the playoff. We draw with Greece and beat Denmark. We are at the World Cup. No two ways about it. That is the hand that we're being dealt here. And tell you what, man, can't really complain. So, right, yes, it was Andy. Big Andy Irving is in, and Connor Barron is also in for Lennon Miller and Ross McCrory. Billy Gilmore will not be taking part at all in the Greece game, which is unfortunate, but here, it is what it is in terms of that regard. But in terms of the goalkeeping position, that's where you have to start with every team. And that is the biggest problem for me, because I just look at it and I think, you know what, I think there's a case for all three. I do. Because Scott Bain has obviously played the most minutes this season. And I think he's been decent, apart from a few games where he's been really shaky. But it's still Scott Bain at the end of the day. And normally, all the guy does is provide a bit of pain. Craig Gordon literally hasn't played a minute this season. We're now into the mid of November. I mean, I thought this guy would have been playing for Hearts. I know at the start of the season it was like, oh, this back injury will be back. Pun intended. He's no back. So I think you're putting a lot of risk starting Craig Gordon. And then you've got Liam Kelly. I rate Liam Kelly. You know, anytime he was called upon last season for Rangers, he stepped up to task. I remember the penalty save against Bilbao. What a save it was. Absolutely fantastic. In the stadium, it was brilliant. But he did make that mistake in the free each game against Hibs for the Rocky Bashuri equaliser to make it free each. Again, it made less mistakes than Butland, but obviously not quite as good as Butland at the same time as Liam Kelly. But yeah, Butland's not in this squad. So, I mean, honestly, in an ideal world, Who'd I go? Fuck it, you go Craig Gordon. I think Craig Gordon's the trusted pair of hands here. Who do I think Steve Clarke will go with? I don't know, man. I think he'll go with Gordon. He always talks about loyalty. If he's being loyal, he'll give it to Craig Gordon, right? But if you're doing it off match fitness, you'll give it to Bain. But if you're doing it off a guy that's kind of in between in terms he's played a few games and he's also better than Bain, I'd give it to Liam Kelly. So, honestly, man, as long as we do our job at the front end of the pitch and our defence is solid, we shouldn't have to worry too much about the goalkeeper. As long as we're not putting any of those Kelly goalkeepers into nets that we've seen over the past couple of weeks, I'm a happy man. Any of them, but I'll go Craig Gordon. Into the defence, so obviously McCrory's out. In terms of the back four, I mean, it's got to be Andy Robertson, but he's got to step up, man. He's got to be better. Right back, I'm going to go with Aaron Hickey, because why the hell would I go with anyone else at right back? Centre backs, I'm going to go with Grant Hanley. And honestly, I would not put John Souttar in if it was just basing it off his Rangers form. Hell, he wouldn't be in the squad if it was off his Rangers form. But for Scotland, he's good, right? So, I mean, I'd rather him be good for Rangers. But yeah, if the guy just wants to be good for Scotland for 6 games in a calendar year, then, I mean, it's better than being pish all year round across the board, even if he doesn't do much for Rangers. But anyway, I'll go with those two. Into the midfield, now Billy Gilmore will not be used. Lennon Miller's also out, so I think the team literally picks itself in that regard. It will be Scott McTominay, it will be John McGinn, and it will be Lewis Ferguson, with a front three of, well, see, this is where it's interesting. McGinn could be on the front three, then Christie comes in, and then what you've got is Ben Doak up there, and then the guy through the middle. It probably will be Shea Adams, but for me, if we're relying on a goal, then it's got to be Shankland. But if we're talking about in form, it's got to be Hearts are top of the league. Shankland's been a massive part of that. Dykes and Hurst, they haven't done too much down in England. As for Adams, still playing in Serie A and still getting the odd goal. So for me, if you're picking between starting two guys, it's got to be Shankland or Adams. Dykes is third choice, and George Hurst is clearly fourth. But either or, guys. Draw the Greece game. At least get us to Tuesday with a bit of hope, man. Because if we do not pick up at least a point tomorrow night or tonight when this video is getting uploaded, then it'll be soul destroying. There's no excuses. There's no excuses. Greece have got nothing to play for. We've got everything to play for, and we don't even need to win. So it's not that difficult. Greece are a good team, but by God, live up to the potential this squad's got, Stevie Clarke and these players. And it's about time we actually put in 2 good performances. Hell, it's about time we put in just one, because I think this group so far has been bogging. I think the first game away in Copenhagen was decent, right? But in my opinion, we should have went for the jugular and got the 3 points. We didn't. But now, all we've got to do is get a point. Do what you can do, Clark. Let's play pish, defend relatively alright, and we should get out of, is it Athens, I believe we're playing? We won 1 point, and that's all we need, baby. So until next time, peace.